Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Hey Little Magpie. And for this layout I'm using the Simple Stories Just Beachy collection. I've separated out some that I want to work with today, and I've also taken some embellishments that are blues and greens and sandy tones. So these papers, I've got the journaling cards and the tags and the 3x4 journaling spots there. And I'm just having a look at what is on them and what colourways there are, so I can cut into them later on. Because the one paper I do want to use is this 12x12, which is called Beachy Vibes, and I want to use that as my base. I've originally picked a photograph, which I will change later, but I'll explain that as I go along. And I've gone through my embroidery threads and I've picked 4 different ones to actually sew down the edges of the waves there. In the tray with the blue handles, it's the lid of a pot. I'm going to add some sequins to the final sewing line. So I do apologise that I keep flipping it. I'm going to start with the darkest green line, and I'm just using a pokey tool and I'm just making holes at regular intervals. I'm going to sew along this in back stitch. So I'm just working my way along by hand, following the line of the pattern on the paper. And then I'm going to use only 3 out of the 6 strands of the embroidery thread. So I'm going to split it essentially in half. I've cut quite a long piece there, but not too long, because I find that if I make it too long, I end up with lots of knots in my sewing. So I'm going to just use 3 strands there, and I'm just getting myself a needle, and I'll get that threaded up, and then I can start the back stitch. So just putting a little knot in the end, and I'll start at one end and I will methodically work my way along, sewing in back stitch on this paper. I don't know whether you're somebody that sews on paper. I love to sew on paper, whether it's by hand or by sewing machine. It is one of the techniques that I really enjoy. Now, I'm not going to subject you to hours of me sewing this. I've done that line and I've come back in with the pokey tool, and now I'm going to put holes in the next line, and I will find a slightly paler green to sew that with as well. I decided not to put all the holes in one go. I thought I'd see how I get on. And when it comes to the last, so I've skipped to the last line now, so I'm going to do that in white, but to echo the tidal line and the bubbles that look like on the paper, I'm going to actually add some sequins with some French knots as I go along. So the straight lines will still be backstitch, but in those bubbly bits there will be sequins, and they're slightly different shades of whites and greens. It's just what I had in my stash. I think I've used odd numbers in each. Oh no, there's one, there's 4, but the rest I've got 5. It depended which ones I'd got that fitted. So this is a white, or just an off-white thread that I'm going to use. Same thing, 3 strands. So I will start by doing some of the back stitch first, and then I will attach the sequins with a French knot. If you want me to do a tutorial on a basic sewing, like French knot and back stitch and running stitch and various actual stitches, just let me know and I can do that. So basically I'm sewing along, I add the sequin to the needle, I'm going to wrap around that needle just twice and go back down through the sequin and back through the paper, and then before I pop up in the next hole that I've already pre-done. So when I lay the sequins on and got them in position, I put the pokey tool straight through the sequin and pierce the paper, so I know exactly where I'm going to put them. I've also laid them down on the mat in order there, so I know exactly, I've already chosen the order the sequins will go, so the way I think they're going to fit. So I'm just methodically working my way down. So it's gone completely to plan, and that's all finished. Can you see those sequins a little bit there and all that sewing? So I decided I wanted to change and bring in 2 photographs. So I've swapped out the one picture that I got. I also wanted something that was a bit more beachy. So I've got all these embellishments here in the tray, and I'm going to do a vertical column mainly of embellishments. Some really lovely colours in this kit, some really different colours as well, so you don't need to use them all on a layout. So I'm being quite selective here, and it is a technique that I use on a regular basis, because I feel like it focuses me a little bit. I love the palm trees. I wanted to get some of those in because there's palm trees in the photos. Just off piste a little bit. The photos were taken in January in Lanzarote. But if you can see what the weather looks like in the pictures, it was beautiful. 26 to 31. If you need a bit of winter sun, I certainly would recommend it as a destination. So getting back. So that's where these pictures were taken. So they definitely go well with the palm trees. I think it would work really well. So I'm just checking out the bits. Some bits, like the waves, I think are too blue and not appropriate, and I'm putting them to one side. There's a sandcastle there. I don't actually use it in the end, even though I thought it was really cute. But I just want to visually create a column of bits and pieces and ephemera that really suit the holiday vibe that I'm trying to create. The sunglasses are perfect at the top. We're both wearing sunglasses, and I really like the circle that says Palm Tree Paradise. Also brings in another shade of green. So I'm trying not to be too fussy with the greens. I think it's nice to have a bit of a mix in there. I really like the 3 beach huts at the bottom. They've got a very tropical vibe, haven't they, with the straw roofs? So I think they're a really good end point as well. So there's just that little bit section in the middle. I want to get some journaling in there too. I've also got some exclusive Hey Little Magpie flair. And in fact, there's 2 or 3 that would go beautifully with this layout. And I do add one to this. So I would really recommend you check them out as well. Lots of exclusives that would go really well with these collections. So I would recommend you check out this collection at Hey Little Magpie. There's lots of new goodies being added all the time. So do keep checking back in regularly because there's lots of new things going on in store. Also, if you subscribe to the emails, that you'll be able to get that dropped in your inbox and you'll know what's going on at Hey Little Magpie. There's also a Facebook group full of inspiration from all the design teams and monthly challenges. So I really recommend you check that out too. Also, with the YouTube channel, if you subscribe, then you'll get notifications of new videos, lots of inspiration, lots of past videos worth checking out as well. Plus, obviously, Instagram, and you'll find all the layouts over there. Plus, lots on wax seals, if that's something that interests you too. There's lots and lots of designs in the Hey Little Magpie store. So I'm just going through the papers. I'm looking at the stickers to see if there's anything that I've not used yet. There's a really cute lizardy chameleon thing that I'm definitely going to use. We saw lots of lizards while we were in Lanzarote, and I think it will fill a little space as well that I think just needed something else in it. I really want to use those palm trees, and I move them around a lot. They do stay and they do get used. Sometimes I feel like the less you use, sometimes the harder it is. So I'm just checking I've not missed anything because I like to see what's on offer. So there's a couple of word stickers that actually don't make it, but I did have a look at them. And I decide I want to cut out some smaller of these leaves. I can't remember what they're called, but they're always got a tropical vibe. So I'm actually cutting a card I probably wouldn't use, and I've just hand cut those, and I can add them to a couple of clusters just to add another layer. So I decide I think I'm going to stick the palm trees at the top. Makes me laugh because it reminds me of the sunglasses worn by Dame Edna Everage. Do you remember her? And she used to have exotic sunglasses, and that's exactly what those 2 palm trees at the top remind me of. But actually, I thought it was really funny. So this is the finished layout. Nice lots of depth there. I've used a few foam pads in between. Here's the full image, and you'll get some close-ups as well too. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked the video. Subscribe to our channel. Do check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I hope to see you here again real soon. Bye for now.